I always chuckle a little bit when I see that it says, I don't know if anybody who hasn't noticed it yet. Let me pull up the comments. Anyone who hasn't noticed it yet, it says Gandalf has short written over him in his little clip with Mauler's face, and I just always find that hilarious. How is everybody today? I'm sorry we're a little late, audience. There was some technical difficulties in the back, as always, as is the standard. But we're here, and we have two men and a set of letters today, apparently. For now, or not. Maybe the image edge webcam
maybe it's
situation. That's for Wonder Man, is what that is. That's that big W for Wonder Man. So yeah, it's been about about 2 weeks since we were on. Obviously other people we've all appeared elsewhere and stuff, but we have a fun little one today because I was able to gather a couple of guys I used to do Echo Chamberlain's show with. I was able to get them both at the same time. I don't know how I pulled that off, considering the fact they live on opposite sides of the damn world.
Yeah.
But who should I go with first? Who should I bring in first? You know what? Let's go with this guy. So our first guest, he's been known. He's feared throughout the rough and tumble cornfields of Illinois. And he's a legend who once punched out a muskrat for looking at his kids a little sus. Though to this day, he still claims for it to be a black bear. Big Dad Energy himself, Mr. Greg Owen. He is muted. I muted you because I thought you guys forgot.
Dangerous. Okay, I know how to crochet corn stalks into a weapon, so don't mess around. Thanks for having me on, guys. Matt, nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, you too, man.
Good to meet you.
It's been a while since you and me streamed together, Greg, and we're going to be reviving a couple of cool things from the old Echo Chamber show. So
I'm looking forward to it. I've got a meaty pitch ready to go for you. Girthy, you might even
girth. Say. It's got girth.
It's veiny.
Let me pull over so I don't screw up the intro for this, because I got a good one for Despot here. In the history of monarchy, there are various ways of overseeing the lands. Our next guest has chosen to rule his medium-sized Irish village with an iron fist, despite the fact he's doing it all the way from Korea. And that is the Despot of Antrim. I love his name. I love that you were just like... It allows for so many cool little intros.
I know, yeah, it's good. It's nice we brand as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was actually funny. I was in the comment section of Open Bar the other day, and someone was like, "Where is Despot from? Where's his accent?" I was like, "Antrim." It's in his name.
It's right there. Or just listen to it. He's got a slick suit in his latest video. He's got a freaking monocolored collar. It's
I got my graphic designer. I sent my graphic designer an image of a gothic tuxedo, and I said, just do something like that. And it looks great.
So yeah, I mean, I was actually watching you guys the other day go through, the last year's best and worst. Might bring up something later because I've been trying to pin you guys down for a specific movie for a while, but as for now, first I want to say hello to the chat. We all see you. People will start trickling in soon, I'm sure. Obviously, we have our guest. We have the co-host, and once again, Bobby is gone. And he's back, kind of.
Right here.
Matt, that's no, Matt. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, Matt. I was looking at your name. I just read it. But yeah, Matt is gone. He's back. So I guess we'll start with the one I think everybody wants to. I'll let I guess Bobby. I'm going to let you go first. We just had episode 4 of the greatest show to come out this year for YouTubers. It came out early too. That's the best part. But we got some feelies from the Klingons, who are the dumbest people ever, who don't want to save their own people. I think I'm going to let you start on this one because I know you didn't really get a chance to talk about Starfleet Academy yet.
No, I mean, I'm still catching up. I haven't finished episode 4 yet, but so far it's been the worst episode in terms of my enjoyment, if you want to call it enjoyment. Yeah, I kind of crammed the first 3 in and then started 4, and then I had to take a break because it was
it is a rough go. I've been writing my videos, I have to keep taking pauses. I'm like, this is because first of all, it's not just that it's bad storytelling; it's bad writing structure. Too.
Yeah, all of it. All of it's rough. Man, it's like they have never seen, the creative team has never seen an episode of Star Trek before. Well, they thought that by doing something different, as if the other shows hadn't done something different but still followed the formula to make it work. But they're just completely abandoning literally everything that came before it, and it's just Star Trek in name. I don't know.
It's funny because it's not even Star Trek in name because they don't put Star Trek Starfleet Academy.
No. It's just Starfleet Academy. Right. Yeah. Yeah. But there's enough like references to previous shows and characters throughout that it's like they're trying to pull you in any way they can. Oh, remember this character? And we named this pavilion after this character who was in a handful of episodes of TNG. You know, it's just like, who gives a shit?
Very member berries. And they do it they're trying to do it with almost every series. So I'm not a huge Trekkie, and I made that very evident in my video when I did this. But even I'm offended. I'm like they're pulling scenes from like legendary scenes that I know about as just a regular, kind of casual viewer, and they're like shitting all over them.
Yeah. The only positive thing I could say so far is that it's not a prequel. Because I loathe prequels.
Greg, have you been keeping up with this garbage?
I've watched an episode and a half, and I couldn't get through it more. It's just like, so I was the week it came out, I was on stream, and I was on with Az, and like, I'm with you. I'm not a big Trekkie person. So he was like, oh, the drill sergeant, whatever, class leader lady, she's a mix of a Klingon and some other thing, and the other thing, they don't actually have dicks, so they can't.
Correct.
I'm like, dude, I don't know any of that. Like, I'm with you. I don't have to know. Like, it's not. I'm not mad because it's not in the spirit of Star Trek, even though a normie like myself understands that it is not. But I'm with you. It's the structure. It's the constant millennialisms, the modernisms. It's like I saw somebody call it Dawson's Trek. Like, it's a fucking CW drama, but it's Star Trek, and
Starfleet like, 90210 was another one I heard.
Yeah, like, I'm not a huge Trekkie person, but I also do know that Star Trek is kind of an optimistic. It was like this optimistic. It's really like, I mean, it's kind of a hippie property when you look back on it, like in the 70s. And this one it's very dark. It's doing this new thing where it's like, oh, the Jedi are not as good as you think. Haha, they're actually, and this is the same thing. Starfleet's not as great as you think. They're actually pieces of shit where the guards beat up, handcuff people in prison transports for no reason. They split up families just because, like, why are you trying to make Federation look so shitty? Leonard Nimoy presented this vision of humanity that was like unified, and we're out in the stars, and we're spreading, we're spreading these high ideals, and these people can't even figure out how to make guards that aren't pieces of shit. Like, it's so depressing.
Yeah, pretty much summed it up. But okay, see you later, Matt.
Right.
And then there were 4. Luckily, I don't need him for the game later, so it's not a requirement. Despot, I know you spoke about it a little bit the other day, but you have more of a chance to say it here. All the things that you want to let out about this garbage.
That sums it up. I mean, you can just pick any part of the show, any aspect of it, whether it's cinematography, acting, characterization. Everything is wrong. I can't identify any redeeming aspects, and I challenge the panel to tell me anything that is good. Does it have a single redeeming aspect?
The only thing that I was able to come up with that I kind of enjoyed, and it shows you how far down this is. In the 3rd episode, I would totally play that version of laser tag, and that's the only thing, and that has nothing to do with the plot, really. I understand why people would be like, that has nothing to do with Star Trek, but I would play that.
One thing I thought was acceptable was that the main lead character, his romantic interest is hot, so she's hot, and I like, wow, they actually have an attractive woman in the show. That's quite impressive, given that almost all the women are these disgusting obese slobs. And the other thing is, the guys, they're all ripped, right? They're ripped,
Yeah.
they're shredded, they're built. The main character has a shirt off scene, or a shirtless scene, and he's got like an 8-pack. He's just absolutely ripped. And meanwhile, the female characters are these gigantic, obese, like dangerously, morbidly obese women with like 3 chins. It's like, love, you don't need to be on a Star Trek set. You need to go to a dietitian and a doctor to get, so that you don't drop dead of a heart attack at the age of 50. And it's just that insane sort of double standard whereby women are allowed to look like shit, but men are expected to be in peak condition and look amazing all the time. And it's just such a perfect representation of that. I'm not. These are actually minor problems with this show. I'm not even going after the big stuff. The big one is characterization. Everyone is detestable. They're horribly annoying. They're excessively millennial. They're bickering. They're immature in a very extreme and almost farcical sense. Like, these are supposed to be college student types, that age range, and instead they behave. Greg can back now because he has 6 kids. They behave more like elementary and middle school kids.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, really I would definitely say middle school for sure.
One of my kids is college age, and so has a couple of college friends, and like they're more mature than these people that are apparently in this elite school for the best of the best in the galaxy. Like, it's insane.
This is
Pretty One has no
Fat
tits.
Joe 460.
Are you talking
Pretty
about
One has no
Genesis?
tits, which is
I don't
completely
mind that, man.
unacceptable for this show.
I don't mind if a woman is, I would even small tits can be perfectly attractive, and as long as she's got a lot of other stuff going on, I don't mind.
One of those
I'm not-
personalities that I've heard
One of
about.
those surfboards.
Well, not a surfboard. I mean, that's going a bit too far.
But you actually hated. Did you watch the most recent episode, Despot? Or
No, I watched the first 2 episodes, and I have been watching far too much other stuff to get back to it.
Yeah, honestly, I've been
might-
having trouble keeping up myself with all the things that came out.
I did hear that there was. Who can talk about the triad relationships and the Klingons?
I can.
Okay, so tell us about that.
So basically, at first it's in this almost off comment that the one character, I keep calling him Jaden Smith instead of Jaden Cragg. Jaden Smith, he mentions how his fathers and mother, and then the Caleb is like, fathers. He's like, yes, I come from a triad family, 2 dads, and I was like, the fucking. Why? They don't even. The one character. So the one dad, the one father is actually charitably a character. Like, he speaks. Like, if that's like, and the other one just sits next to a fire and doesn't say a word. I'm like, why are you even in this episode? Like, why did they add you? And it kind of plays right into what you were saying, is that it's almost like a women's fantasy. It's like this out of shape, which is funny because I looked up the actress and she's not heavy. They made her look heavy.
Yeah,
she has a kind of chubby face, but her body is like
they made her thick,
like average. But they made her thick, but like not in a good way. And she just has 2 dudes, and I'm like it's just this whole.
The other thing is, though, like, from a biological perspective, that doesn't make any sense, because
exactly, that's where I was going. Yeah,
if you're a species that has triad families, as they have eponymous, I think is the right word. They've eponymously named them triad families. Okay, you're not going to have 2 men, because what is the biological function of that? If I have 2 wives, I can impregnate them both at the same time and thus produce more children. That's the whole point of polygamy. But 2 men competing over the same womb? What is the point of that?
It's reverse Mormonism is what it is.
You get to high five in the middle.
Yeah, you get to do the Eiffel Tower. That's what you get to do.
The Eiffel Tower, pitching a tent.
But what I will say though is that the captain's chair looks super comfortable. Like I'm in a regular gamer chair here, and I want to be able to, I want to be able to. Number one.
Okay, the bridge to me looked like a 1950s retro diner.
I love how Greg had trouble getting back into position afterwards.
I'm fine.
I'm sorry, Bobby. Go ahead.
No, just like the lines, like the sleek lines of silver going across the ceiling, curving. It just reminded me of like walking into one of those like vintage diners, but like sleek. And it's like way too big. It's freaking massive. You have
There's
to like shout across it to talk to anybody.
obviously we'll probably not spend a crazy amount of time on this one, but you can't get around not talking about it like nowadays. But what was it? So like I said, the third episode was the one that had, because I don't think we had a show by the time the third episode had come out, but that one is the most filler of all fillers I've seen in my life. Oh, good. You guys remember that you could control the who was that? Was that you, Matt?
What?
No, I hit something by accident.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you guys are allowed. You guys can highlight. Now to unhighlight, you just hit hide. So,
my bad.
It was the most fillery of filler episodes I've ever seen in a show, and even though it wasn't good, it was the easiest to digest out of all of them. I think we were talking backstage, and the structure of the season is off. So the first episode, they front loaded it with all this exposition and stuff, and then then they introduce all the characters in the second episode for the most part, like for real, not just like this is the person's name. The beginning of this episode, they were out in a nebula, the Val Nebula, I think it was called, and so like the whole you think, oh, we're gonna start getting some Star Trek-y stuff, they're gonna go see other planets and shit. And no, they don't. They show that scene and come right back to the school, and I'm like, there's so many things that this could work. The show could work if you did it a certain way. Obviously, you got to remove all of the dumb, what do you call them, millennialisms. What was that, Greg?
Yeah, right. Remove all the bad writers. You got to remove Alex Kurtzman.
Yeah,
then you can get.
But so structurally, though, if you were to do it, because essentially what that ship is like a giant, it's a space school bus at this point. It takes them to school. That's what it does. They could have went to various planets, picking up people and exploring along the way. There is a structure there that could have worked. That's what I get more annoyed when I see a concept that could actually work than one that was just doomed from the start. And that's. But yeah, Matt, did you have? I'm sure you have more that you want to say about. Bobby. I'm sure you have, I keep looking at the wrong name. Bobby, I'm sure you have something you want to say. So you know what it is? It's because Matt keeps getting kicked out, so it's flip flopping you guys.
I'm not kicked out. I'm just screwing around with my camera over here, so it's I'm still listening.
Flip flopping where your names are when I go to look to read it.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean these guys, they hit the nail on the head with the problems. I mean, you could literally point out any single thing from the show and just there's problems with it, and right from the beginning, like you said, seeing them in space and they get interrupted on their journey back to Earth, and you're like, okay, this is the beginning of adventures in space, right? And then maybe they're going to get stuck, they're going to have to like hopscotch to planets now, and they're going to get like a real world education, right? Like that to me, that concept would have been more interesting.
That's like the movie, the 2009 movie.
Yeah, where they end up having to put these cadets into real world situations, and then you see where they go and they learn their lessons, and you introduce whatever you want to do it that way. They bring them right back to Earth, and it just feels like now we're watching Dawson's Fleet, and nobody wants to watch that, especially as like someone who's seen every Star Trek series and movie and cartoon, and
I've only ever really watched TNG. That was really the only one I watched. People have told me that I really should check out, if I liked Next Generation, I should really check out Deep Space Nine. Apparently,
Deep Space Nine is probably like a second close for me to the original series. Like I actually like Deep Space Nine more than TNG. But TNG,
a lot of people have told me that it has a very similar kind of feel to it, though.
Well, that's the thing. These shows all have, like Voyager, Enterprise. They all have their own unique angle, but they still do that episodic thing where, okay, we've got, for lack of a better phrase, creature of the week. What are we doing this week, and what kind of morally gray thing are we going to tackle? Every one of the shows does that, but now it's like they've gotten so far away from that. Especially with this show. Like this show, you could do something where it focuses on cadets, focus on the education side, Starfleet, but you've stripped away the entire thing that made Star Trek great. by doing the show.
The one. Who was it? Who said it? Was it Anthony Derivative Joe called the Starfleet Academy? There was no feet in this episode. I was.
Oh man,
it's funny. So in my video I
Holly
created
Hunter.
it. I created. First of all, I read that they ADR'd her dialogue for a lot of scenes, and I'm like, how? I can still barely understand her. Is she sounds like she's having a stroke every single scene.
And some of the characters feel like their voices are being modulated, like Jaden or something. Like he couldn't do the actual Klingon voice, so it sounds like they're doing something to his voice. And then you listen to like Michael Dorn speak as Worf, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's his voice. You know?
Yeah, he just kind of cranks up the deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really want to go on about that too long, because there was another show that at least me and Greg have watched. I think, Despot, you said you watched a couple of episodes of it too, right?
Yeah.
Wonder Man. So I'm gonna let Greg start on this one, what he thinks, because he was actually
I'm super
pretty positive towards
I
it.
am. I'm really positive on this one. Like, so there's two things about this show. There is the chemistry between Ben Kingsley and the other guy. I don't know his name, but
It's Yaya. He's the dude who played what the hell?
Didn't he? Was he in one of those Aquaman movies? As
He's the Black Mantis.
Black Crab.
Black Manta. Yeah, Black Manta. Sorry, my brain forgot there for a second.
So you've got like their story, their chemistry, and the like struggling actor and old irrelevant actor, and they're kind of playing off each other, and they've got this chemistry going on, and they're trying to find this work and everything. Like, there's that whole side of the show, and then there's the other side of the show that is secret government agency has to fill a superhero prison, and that's and actors with superhero powers can't be actors because the insurance or so that side of it is stupid as hell. Like the underlying dumbass plot structures that they've tried to create to drive things forward are dumb, but fortunately they're very small, and the majority of the show is really, really enjoyable because it's just these two dudes kind of just getting into many little adventures. Ben Kingsley's past kind of pops up, so these gangsters try to rob him. The guy is kind of down on his luck. He's trying to find work. They run into oh gosh, I can't think of the guy. I can't pronounce the guy's last name, but the guy Cypher from the Matrix. They just like go to his house, and he's just
Joey Pantaleone. Pants.
Yeah.
Joey Pants.
They just go to his house, and he's just there, and he's just like, I'm a rich, condescending guy to Ben Kingsley. Like, it's just goofy shit. Josh Gad is suddenly there rapping the In Summer song from Frozen. Just like dumb, goofy shit, and they're making fun of kind of Hollywood culture a little bit. Like, all of that, I'm having an absolute blast. There are parts of the show I'm laughing out loud. I'm having such a fun time, and then every now and again I'm reminded that, like, oh right, the department, I don't even know what the fuck, the department of something.
It's
the department of
damage control. The company,
all white guys, which is, I did notice that. Like, it's a whole room full of white guys, and like, we have to arrest people just because we had to put them in jail to justify our tax budget. And like, that's weird. You guys are really multicultural, except for when it comes to the villains. But so that's
which is kind of plays into what I just highlighted here, why the race swap. We'll get into that in a minute. Don't worry, Amelia.
Yeah, and like, I don't know what Wonder Man. I don't know what he's supposed to do. I don't know anything about him, like comic books. Like, I don't know what it is like as a telling of that story, but an adaptation. But just going in knowing nothing, and thankfully the superhero parts of it are really small, and so it's just guy who was the Mandarin and guy who can't find work because he's actually kind of a shitty actor are just hanging out, and they have really great chemistry, and it's a lot of fun.
In fairness, he's a really good actor. He's just really bad at like his timing of when he wants to make everything perfect. He's a perfectionist.
Right.
That's really his issue.
Yeah.
And to sort of answer your question, so Wonder Man the actor thing is correct. That's his whole thing. He has ionic powers, but they're very vague, even in the comics. I've always said that Marvel has this template character that they tend to throw on to somebody that they just need to be powerful. It's like, oh, they can do pretty much anything. You see it with Wonder Man has done it. You see it with Captain Marvel, aka Ms. Marvel. Sentry can kind of do it. They'll take one of the aspects of it, kind of ramp it up a little bit, but it's really just this generic template they throw on them, and that's kind of him. Wonder Man's comics have been canceled multiple times, but he usually hangs around in the West Coast Avengers. That's like the thing he does. So I'm gonna let Despot. I know you only watched like 2 episodes. I watched 5. I've seen up to when they almost get arrested. So, but I'll go a little bit more into that. But let me just answer Amelia's question. I have no idea why they race swapped the character, other than they wanted the actor. It doesn't, because there's no, at least up to this point. I'm in episode 5, like Greg. There's no like race component to the show. There's no like, oh, black actors aren't getting selected. It's very clear that it's about. I mean, granted, the only 2 that they've shown with powers that are like a problem are black, but there's not like he's living in the ghetto. There's nothing like they're not doing the Ironheart thing. So I'm not really sure why they race swapped the character. Now,
it just seems like because he's good at it. I mean, he really does. He's doing a good job. Like he's, I think he's acting well, and then Ben Kingsley is doing great as acting like a guy who can't act, which is takes a lot of talent actually to act.
My favorite thing about Ben Kingsley's character is that he kind of, as he goes along, because I'm kind of on the fence. I think that the show is well acted, and I think that there is chemistry between the characters, like you said, but it just feels like, why is this a thing? I'm not really sure why. Because it almost feels like it was an afterthought and they just threw it in, because I'll explain more in a second, but there's like no connections at all. They've mentioned Hulk like one time, and that's about it.
It's a spotlight show, that is what's her face, the deaf, what was the one from last year? She was deaf Echo. And had one leg, and yeah. So remember they were testing this out where they're like, we're gonna do these Marvel spotlight shows, and they're not really gonna have connect, like you don't have to watch anything else, you don't have to know anything, you really don't even have to know who the Mandarin was. They explain he was a guy who got kidnapped and was forced to act like a terrorist. Like you don't even need to watch the Iron Man shows. So I like this concept of the spotlight shows, that they are Marvel, but they're not part of the Marvel universe, which I think is a big weakness, especially on Disney Plus, where people are like, look, I'm not going to watch 2 full seasons of Loki so I understand, what happened. I'm not going to watch Secret Wars so I understand what the Skrulls are and where they fit in. Like people are kind of pissed about that. So this, I think, is perfect to be on their streaming platform, because you need no knowledge. It ties into nothing. It's just a fun show. It stands on its own, and I think it's like a good show. Just not great, just good time.
No, yeah, it definitely, and I want to hear Despot's thoughts on what he's watched so far. But yeah, I don't hate it. That's which is almost a stamp of approval nowadays, to say you don't. I'm not offended by it. It's self-contained. It has some funny moments, mostly, from Ben Kingsley just being himself for the most part, just being like. But Despot, I guess let me let you give your perspective on what you've seen so far, because you weren't particularly as fond of what you saw.
No, I don't think it's a bad show. It is a very watchable sitcom, basically. It's a sitcom about 2 actors in LA, just going through the grind, trying to do their thing and get some auditions and get the next part. And obviously there's some nefarious stuff going on with one of them. That's, like Greg said, that's the part that I really don't like, because I actually thought that the whole sitcom aspect of it was really quite nice. I think there's an evil government agency which wants to arrest Wonder Man for some very vague, unspecified reason. Certainly by episode 2, it's totally vague. I don't really know why they want to arrest him or what he's done.
Even by episode 5, they really haven't explained it. You probably know about as much as we do.
Lad, you're the feds. If you want to arrest him, break down his fucking door and make a case against him. That's it. It's just quite a frustrating aspect of the show. Like, is this? Why are you doing this kind of weird sting operation using Ben Kingsley as a spy? It would make sense if you thought the guy was into drugs and you needed to catch him in the act. But other than that, or you suspect him of terrorism or something, and you want to get his accomplices. So it just makes no sense to me. It's not well explained. That's a very, very weak subplot. The main stuff, the sitcom stuff of 2 actors going around LA and trying to get roles and trying to get auditions, that's actually quite good. It feels like a really solid, almost like a solid 2000s LA sitcom or something, which kind of has a bit of an overarch, but is mostly just episodic, and they go on little adventures together, like in the second episode. And this is understandable. The main guy cannot make an audition tape in his apartment because he's just gone through a breakup, and there are too many bad memories in the apartment. That's understandable. So he goes outside and he tries to find somewhere else, but it's LA. Where the fuck are you going to go? So he tries to do an audition room, like a recording room, but the lady who works there insists on reading the lines. So that doesn't work. And then they go to Kingsley's place, and his neighbor won't shut the fuck up, and that won't work. And it kind of does. It's kind of making fun of that rude. I'm guessing this is what it's doing. I was in LA once for in a layover, and I did not like the place.
But leave the airport.
I did leave the airport.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Me and a Swiss guy walked off like through LA for like 8 hours, and we just couldn't stand the place. Anyway, maybe it's great. I don't know. But
just imagine them being like these damn French people. And just like, what is going on?
One thing I do remember is that my feet were in agony because I don't know what they used to build the pavements over there or the streets. It was just like flat cement, so there was no. And when you walk on a purely flat surface, it's absolutely it really is extremely painful on your feet. So that's one thing I remember vividly about LA. Anyway, I think maybe they're trying to satirize the rudeness of LA culture and the sort of selfishness of it, things like that, because he can't find anywhere to do a take, and his neighbor won't shut the fuck up, and he can't even tell the guy, please stop it. I don't know, but that was a pretty good episode overall, apart from the stupid government stuff. For me, it's very non-essential watching. It's not something that I would recommend to anyone because, yes, Ben Kingsley is quite funny in it, and he has good chemistry with the other lead. But apart from that, there's just not enough there to recommend. It's a very pedestrian story. They do have some stuff going on with the superhero. It's very watchable, but I wouldn't go out of my way to recommend it. There's no reason to do so. I almost struggle to find a reason for the show to exist. It's so plain and ordinary and lacking in anything that is. There's nothing I can point to and say, okay, that is great. Although it's good. It's a good show. You can watch it.
I'm actually curious. What like you really how'd you say it that there's such a flat surface? What are you walking on in other countries that? The road's bumpy?
I don't know. It's like it's curved, it's paved, it's got bumps and grooves, and But I don't know. Yeah, he's right. Your nasty American floors hurt my feet, and I want an apology for it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The show is fine. It's fine, but it's not something I would recommend. Because if I were to say to someone, "Oh man, you got to watch this show," they'd go and watch it and think, "Oh, for fuck's sake, this is so mid." I don't see the point. I don't understand why Marvel made this. Like, what is the point of this?
I think the primary issue.
It's just more bloat. It's such a bloated canon at this stage. They've got so many Disney Plus shows. They've massively oversaturated. And to me, this is just more. It's just bloatware. Honestly, it's bloatware content. It's not bad. It's not insufferable. It's not nasty or anything. It's not fucking Echo or it's not She-Hulk. So it's a step up from that, but it's just sort of bloatware, feels like to me.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the biggest issues with it is it's trying to take the piss out of Hollywood, but it's made in Hollywood. Yeah. So it just seems like they're pulling their punches on them. They're not committed to it as much. They'll make fun of the rude people on the street. They'll say, "Oh, it's tough to live out here. Get a gig. You get overlooked." But they're not really going to tackle the real problems with trying to become an actor. The nepotism, like the things like that. They're not going to tackle that stuff because that.
There's nothing juicy there. A big problem I think that the show has is that both of the main characters he's doing okay. He's scraping by as an actor in LA. He seems to have it together. Right, he did just break up with his woman. That's kind of sucks, but he'll get a new one. He's a good enough guy. Like, he's intelligent. He's reasonably good looking. He has he's got a bit of charisma about him, so that's not going to be an issue for him. So the problem is, although I kind of like the character, he doesn't have any major problems, and it is that in a sitcom, you really need that, especially in the early seasons. I mean, look at Friends. in the season 1 of Friends, you've got Rachel, who's basically a runaway, and she's broke, and she's working in a cafe. And you could go through all the characters, and then Joey as well. He's a perfect example.
Actually, now that you mention it, he's very similar character.
He's very similar. Like, he's this kind of comedic guy, but he's trying to make it as an actor. But the problem is he's not a good actor, and he is really struggling to get roles, and he gets himself into bad situations, and he fucks too many women, and that can get in the way of his work. And like that's fun. That's really fun. They take the fun factor with Joey and they just put it up to the max. But with this show, everything's too milk toast, and nobody has any big problems. Like even what's his name? The Ben Kingsley.
The Mandarin.
Like
Trevor Slattery, right? Mandarin.
He's out of prison, so that's okay. But he's out of prison and he's working again. Like relatively speaking, he's doing all right as long as he's staying out of prison and he's getting a bit of work. He's okay. So there's no big problems for the characters to overcome. They don't have any major challenges or problems, and I think that's a major, just from a writing perspective, that's a major problem with the show. They need to give these characters some bigger problems to deal with. Like doesn't even need to be major. It could be something like this guy really needs to get this audition because if he basically is, he's not going to be able to make next month's rent, and he will be homeless if he doesn't get this next audition. Give it some stakes, give them some problems, and they're just not there.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. The government thing is where they try to get the stakes because Ben Kingsley is, a double agent, and he's struggling because does he turn this guy in and actually, wear a wire and all this because the guy's threatened to put him back in prison just for reasons. But he likes the guy and, how will their relationship hold up to the trust break when he finds out that Kingsley really is, been playing him the whole time. But the tension is just not, it's not there. It's just not really, but I like their chemistry. So I think it's carrying it for me.
I would like to point out Amelia's thing. I got 2 super chats I'd like to address after that. They ruined the Mandarin by making him an actor playing a terrorist. It's funny because I feel like what happened in Iron Man 3 did less damage to the character of the Mandarin than what ended up happening with Shang-Chi when they tried to retcon it and turn somebody else into the Mandarin. I felt like that did more damage than what they did in Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 was pretty bad, man.
Yeah, but Shang-Chi was worse.
Can we just take a moment to acknowledge how awful Iron Man 3 was?
Fucking terrible.
I'll tell you what. We'll talk about Iron Man 3 for a minute.
What a piece
after
of
I
shit.
cover these. In a world of MCU homework, it sounds like an optional extra credit no one asked for. From Road on Life Productions for $4.99 American. I would agree that is that's pretty much all of the stuff over on Disney Plus for the last couple years. At first, they were using the main characters, and then now they're just adding all these minor characters that no one are probably not even going to appear in the movies. So, like, you don't really need to do it.
Yeah, like I said, the trouble is they're not committing. Like, this is not I really think this is a good idea if they commit to it. The trouble is first of all, Bob broke his promise by saying, none of the shows will have anything to do with the MCU. It won't be homework, and then it fucking was. So if they had committed to that from the get-go and just been like, look, this is like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you like these people? Cool. We're going to have a whole show. You don't need to watch it. It's just your characters you like, and they're going to go on smaller adventures, and then the movies will just kind of be separate. That would have been fine, but they didn't stick to that. And now I see why people are like, wait, why do I suddenly have this random-ass character that I don't care about? This is what they should have been doing the whole time, and this show would have been much, much better received. But now everybody's used to thinking that it has something to do with the MCU, and it doesn't. And they did a shit job of advertising that that's what the Spotlight Marvel productions were supposed to be. So now everybody's expecting it to mean something, and it doesn't. And that feels disappointing. I get that.
And we have an apology to Despot from Jacob WD40 for $5. I would like to apologize to Despot for our uncomfortable, flat, crappy American roads. I mean,
But you need to do the work. You need to do. I'm like one of those woke cancel mobs online. I don't accept the apology. You need to do the work. You need to work harder. I want you to talk to your employer. We need to think about whether you really should be employed. In fact, I think we should just cancel Jacob WD-40 altogether. He needs to be canceled.
And Rhodes, we should cancel Rhodes.
We'll I'm smelling blood in the water because of the apology.
We don't need Rhodes. We need 15
Jacob,
more.
You made the mistake, man. Never apologize. Never apologize. That's the mistake you made.
Let me tell you something. Our roads are back-to-back World War fucking champions. So I don't know. Seem like pretty good fucking roads to me. That's all I'm saying.
The UK was on our side.
Oh man, the UK roads were absolute fucking trash. Like the amount of complaints that get made. I mean, you think it's bad in America? Like UK infrastructure is just decaying into shit. And the reason is, sorry to go into politics, but very briefly.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. I have a political thing later.
It's because when you actually look at the UK government budget, almost all the money goes on like welfare, basically, like the NHS and welfare payments to people who are unemployed and things like that. And
for the migrants.
And they have, migrants, a massive amount goes to migrants. And there's no money left over for investment. Like 2% of the budget gets invested. And that includes like fixing the roads. And it's just, there's no wonder the country's decaying. The government's not investing the money. It's just it's pissed away on these fucking socialist welfare programs. Right, I'm done with the politics. Sorry.
No, it's fine. New Jersey's the same way. Our roads suck. Yet for some reason we have some of the highest taxes in the entire country. And I do have so it's very similar. I do have one more actually from one of my favorite names to say, Joy Bag of Donuts. Since we're talking about Marvel, who are the Avengers and why should I care? Great panel as always. Love to see the semi-echo reunion. The what's the opposite of like an echo chamber? It's just like that silent room in the University of Minnesota.
Version, like the echo room, the echo cupboard.
Yeah, the scream into a very large canyon. I don't really know, but actually, who are the Avengers anymore? Now that we're talking about it, let me just make sure I don't have another one here.
The new Avengers, the Thunderbolt, the formerly.
Well, it's like I don't count that because that's fucking retarded. So I guess we have Captain Falcon supposedly, and that's
a lawsuit.
Is Thor still around? I don't even know.
Well, he's coming back. So, but I don't. Yeah, like it's
he and his daughter that no one knows he has.
Right.
Yeah, and Hulk is not. He's just off being like a champagne socialist on Twitter, so he's probably not really. I don't even know who's in it anymore, to be honest with you. We've lost connection because it went from it being the biggest, just freight train of a franchise, just plowing through everything. Everybody knew everything about it. To
now you're trying to just remember the last few, and like because we saw Thunderbolts, but that movie. I forgot it already. Like I don't even remember.
And that was what I said about Thunderbolts when it was out. I was like, "This is about the most as unrememberable, like non-memorable as it can get. This is so forgettable." And thank you everybody for the super chats. I wanted to say that before we moved on.
Should we do some super chats before we go to the next segment?
That was all the super chats.
Oh right. Okay.
I don't get nearly as many as some of those other shows you've been on, Desmond.
There's another one. You've convinced Jacob to not apologize.
Well. We do have another one here from Jacob. He has rescinded his apology.
Good.
In French.
They
were
doing the Young Avengers, right? Remember they had Kate Bishop and Kamala were going to be. They started the Avengers with Ant-Man's shitty daughter.
Oh God.
Oh, and they also had what's her face?
Forgot about
Marvel. Fucking what the hell is the actress's name?
Haley Steinfeld?
No, that was Kate Bishop. I was saying Ms. Marvel was supposed to be a big deal with it too.
Ms. Marvel. I can't remember her name, but she was the one
Kamala
good
Khan?
thing with the Marvels.
Well, not the character, the actress. I was trying to remember her name. I can't remember.
She was good.
I couldn't stand her.
No, the character was shit, but the actress was because she was so enthusiastic. And in the Marvels, Jesus, Brie Larson just didn't want to be there.
You could tell.
No one really wanted to be there except that wee girl that was playing Ms. Marvel. Like,
what the hell was her name?
giving it her all, and it just stood out because there's Brie Larson looking like a depressed plank of
Amon
wood.
Vellani.
Yeah, and what's her name?
Amon Vellani.
Amon Vellani.
Yeah, Amon Vellani is she's this little kid, bursting with energy, and it was nice because it reminded me of a time in life when I still had hope. It was like that.
Unlike Iron Man 3, which I did promise we would talk about for a minute. That was kind of it's funny because everyone always forgets that Phase 2 had a lot of stinkers too. Honestly,
all of it has like stinkers from the very beginning. Like everyone blows this series, and there's actually a lot of shitty movies in there. But
they're more average to bad than good.
Iron Man 3 though was the first like serious misfire though. That movie sucked ass. Like it was so
Did
bad.
that come out before or after Thor: The Dark World? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Thor: The Dark World was really bad too.
That was bad, but I would probably rather watch that than Iron Man 3. I fucking hated that movie. I think they turned Guy Pearce into like the Riddler, basically, Jim Carrey Riddler. That's what he is. Oh, I was bullied and like rejected by the billionaire. So here's my bad guy plot now.
I don't want to remember Guy Pearce that way. He's too good at everything else.
He's great.
For me, it's like Donald Gleason. Like I love that guy and everything, and General Hux just doesn't. I don't believe that he ever did that. That was a dream.
General Hux.
Yeah.
General Hux.
But like
all great actors have them. All great actors have those bizarre, shitty roles.
I mean, it was Star Wars. I don't blame Gleason. Like somebody said, you want to be in Star Wars? Fuck you, I want to be in Star Wars.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
But you're right. Like there were some bombs, but at least phases 1, 2, 3 always had a plan. I think that's why 4, 5, and 6 feel so shitty, is because there's clearly no plan. There is no direction.
They try to have a plan, but then you have like the Jonathan Majors catastrophe, and so they had to like.
I blocked that out of my mind. Actually, I completely forgot he was even in anything.
I mean, there's just so many things. Quantumania. And then he got his ass kicked by Ant-Man.
Yeah,
and then he got his ass kicked by literal ants, not even ants.
So that happens, and then you just have a bunch of like failed movies that come out, and they just sort of keep restarting it basically, and so it's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. I mean, we all knew that was the case as soon as we heard they were bringing back, and I think everybody deep down knew they were going to start bringing back actors. But the fact that the first one that they went for was to bring back not Tony Stark. He's not even playing Tony Stark. To bring back Robert Downey Jr. was that was their waving the white flag. Okay, we'll just do what you guys want, and then they didn't even do that. They were like, we're not even bringing him back as Iron Man.
Do you guys think that he's actually going to become Tony Stark at the end? Like he's going to come back?
I honestly hope that it's just the most ridiculous, batshit insane stuff we've ever seen, and it takes everyone on this panel and every panel that we're inevitably end up on years to figure out what the hell we just watched. Like I hope there's for years.
I'm getting really curious because the amount of characters they have in this movie, right? And the reason I say movie is because I saw Stranger Things season 5, and if you want to know what cast bloat does to a production, watch Stranger Things 5. It was atrocious. And one of the biggest problems was that there were far too many characters. You're talking like 3 times as many as there should have been, at a minimum. And they're doing this in a movie. It's going to be like a 3-hour movie, and it has all these characters. How do you balance that many characters?
It's going to make Age of Ultron look slow.
Like some of them might just be characters from like little side stories that you get, like maybe here's a flashback or a side little clip that just shows you something else that happened that they might not fully bring them in for the whole film, because depending on what they do after this film, they might only introduce certain characters in this, or characters like the X-Men are. Like, what are they going to do? They're going to bring in all of these X-Men characters and then make them as important as the characters that we've been with for 10, 15 years. I don't know. Like they might just bring them in like, oh, they're only coming in for one scene or something like that, so you don't really have to worry about juggling them the whole film. But
I think, who knows? And a lot of people like cameos. A lot of people point to Infinity War, and I think not only did they have a great story, because in the end it's really, the way it ends is basically perfect for what they were trying to do, but take the story, the structure, the fact that they kind of split them into smaller groups, but they weren't tiny groups. They weren't like 2 people. It was like, here's a group of 6 or 7 people, and so you had 3-4 main storylines going on that they could bounce between. That was, then you go to Endgame and they separate them all out into individual storylines. Even if you take the time travel aspect out of Endgame, which automatically pretty much ruins it. But just even if they were to do that without the time travel, just separating a group of 7 people into 7 individual storylines that went in different directions, it slows down the pace of everything. Because now we have to, every scene is going to be essentially 7 different scenes. And it just didn't progress as quickly. And I think that's one of the things people forget about with it, because a lot of people like to focus on the time travel aspects and the fact that Thanos doesn't make any sense, but there's a lot more to why Endgame isn't as good as Infinity War.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess to be somewhat charitable towards the Russo brothers, they are good at the whole ensemble thing. Like that is one thing that because they did that so well in Infinity War. I wouldn't be surprised if that carries over to the new Avengers movie, but who gives a shit? It's still going to suck. But I do think that there are just too many characters now, and it's becoming unwieldy for sure. Like the word, I don't know what they're going to do.
No, yeah, Despot said it the best. I mean, character bloat is, when you end up with it's there's the old adage for all the Americans on the panel. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterback. It's an old NFL thing, and what that means is if you have 2 great things going, one of them is inevitably going to suffer. And that's what happens when you have character bloat. If there's any one good storyline, it now is. If there's one that's people really want, it's now not as emphasized, and it's just Marvel in general. And I agree with Greg about the spotlight stuff. Just the fact that no one actually knows what the hell it is unfortunate. Because I like that. It's almost like an imprint of the MCU. Anybody who follows comics knows what an imprint is. So, but anybody have anything they want to add that we missed on that one?
I think Doctor Doom is going to be Bizarro Tony Stark. He'll be multiverse Tony Stark if he made different decisions and was a villain. That's
yeah.
He'll have like a shitty goatee or something. It'll be stupid.
Yeah, that's exactly what I reckon. He'll just be Tony Stark if things had turned out different and he became a crazy scientist, which is acceptable. I mean, people shit on that, but even if we look at Endgame, which was a disaster, the strongest part of that movie was the Ant-Man plotline, because that's a great plotline. He comes back from the, what do you call it, the microverse?
It was the quantum realm.
The quantum realm, and half the population, this is after the snap, and he's in shock. Mm-hmm. That's great. That's a great way to introduce the sort of post-snap world. And then, so that was a brilliant plotline. Really strong, and then they ruined it with fucking time travel and all sorts of other stuff. But it started out really strong with that, right? And it started out really strong by showing the snap in real time. So it started out brilliantly. So I think that Tony Stark going bad, like a different kind of Tony Stark that becomes a mad scientist, I actually really like that. I think that could be a terrific plot line. The problem is the million other plot lines that they then have to weave into that.
Well, not only that, they need to figure out how to bring back characters that are either dead or haven't been around for a while, or even the X-Men. They're getting involved. It's not only will this movie have that going on, there's going to be introductions and reintroductions in what should inevitably be a culmination movie. Yeah. That's what all the Avengers movies were. The reason why all of them generally worked is because they were a culmination of the storylines converging at the end.
Right. And
this one is going to try to start the storylines, and it just feels like it's not going to work.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like there's any culmination whatsoever, because we're trying to figure out, well, wait, what happened in this movie? What happened in that movie? Mm-hmm. We don't even fucking remember. So
yeah. Well, and that's the other thing is they're trying to grab. And you got to remember, this is like a 20-year-old franchise at this point. Like this is you're talking a lot of fucking time has gone on, and when Brave New World came out and people were like, well, the villain is the leader, Samuel Starnes, and people were like, who? You remember from the Hulk movie and 20 years ago? Remember the nerdy scientist guy? Remember him? And then he had a little bit of he's back, don't you know him? And no.
Turned out he signed a 2-movie deal and we just sat on that shit, basically.
I remember before, I think it was before Secret Wars. That's right. Before the Secret Wars show came out, I think it was like Screen Crush or one of the YouTube channels was like, what you need to know, a quick crash course so that you can watch Secret Wars. It was 25 fucking minutes long YouTube video to be like, here are all the references with Nick Fury and the things that you need to know about the Skrull and all this other stuff so that you can know what's going on in the show. And I just feel like if you've hit that point, you need to hit the reset button, which is what whatever Secret Wars or whatever Wars or something is supposed to be.
Yeah, Secret Wars.
By the time that comes out, nobody's going to give a shit. And it's supposed to be next year. You know?
Well, yeah, they're filming them at the same time, but neither of them have completed scripts. I love that, by the way. I just want to take a moment. I want to give a shout out to whoever came up with the concept of filming without a completed script, because it has given us gold for the last like 5 to 8 years, and it's I fucking love it. It's weird because it used to be Hollywood was so like worried about things and like, oh, we're not going to greenlight it unless we've seen the script, we've done test audiences. Now it's like they're just greenlighting shit and they're not even sure if it's going to get made. It's the Hollywood we once knew is so far gone. It's further gone than we actually realize at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it's just like, I mean, not even a movie. Shit. What if we start a brand new trilogy to one of the largest IPs on the planet in history that we just bought, and we don't have parts 2 and 3 written or a director for either of them or whatever? Let's fucking go with that. Let's just see what Rian Johnson does. It's gonna be fun. It's like one of those art installations where somebody starts a painting and then they switch and somebody else just keeps like, fuck yes, see what we come up with.
I love that Greg does the same thing I do, just like much more subtle, where he's like, I wasn't on YouTube at the time, so I'm gonna make sure I bring it up when I get up when it gets brought up. Speaking of things, I guess we lost Despot for a minute. He might have stepped away. I didn't see it.
He jumped out for a minute.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, I was going to have him try to convince me to watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms because he's like the only person I know who's actually watched any of it. But I guess we'll just do random shit for a minute. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I put this in there specifically for Greg. Hold on. I like to use my clips and stuff, so.
Finally! I've been trying to catch you boys all day! Now that I've got you right where I want you!
We're going to talk about K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes!
Because I don't know if you saw, but it is fucking crushing it at all the awards. Did you see that it won the Grammy now, too?
No, I didn't, but it deserves it. I mean, shit, it's a fantastic movie on every level.
I was trying to like sneak into your guys' like stream on the other day. I was like in your chat, like, hey, if you guys need me to talk about K-pop Demon Hunters, I'm here. Just didn't see it in time, or maybe they did see it and ignored it. But honestly, I watched that movie because of Greg. Like, I was totally not gonna watch it at all. I was like, whatever, it's Netflix. Sometimes I love Greg, but sometimes he gets a little soft on these things, and I can't take him seriously.
My kids like something, I
yeah.
I just do.
You've done it a few times where you were like, it's good, and I watch it. I'm like, he did it to me again, Owen. And but no, you were like spot on. You were like one of the ones that jumped on it as fast as anybody, and it's become kind of like my go-to movie, to be honest with you. I listen to the soundtrack, you know, like the ones that I can understand at least, which makes me very jealous of Despot because he can listen to the whole soundtrack and understand what it means. But I put it on as like my background movie, and I end up watching it. Like, that's the thing, is I think everybody has those background movies they put on when they're doing the dishes or whatever. And then I end up not doing the dishes. I'm like, you know what? Let me see what else I can pick out of these scenes. And like I was just, here's one for you. There he is. And he put on his. Did you change your shirt?
No, I went and I made coffee.
Oh yeah, I forgot. By the way, it's like 9 a.m. for Despot.
Yeah.
Everybody really needs, anybody who sees him on a panel, really give him like a salute. He wakes up really early for these things. Like,
yeah, actually, people were saying, in my last drinker stream, there were some people in the comments saying, Despot looks so bored. And it's not that, it's that I got up at 6 a.m. and I was, man, that was a tough one because I was doing the night shift with my baby daughter, and that was a tough night. You know, my wife needed a break, so she was sleeping on the couch. I was sleeping in bed with our baby, and oh man, then I had to wake up at 6 a.m. to do the stream, so I was not in good shape. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't think I could do a 6 a.m. stream, so I salute you on that one. But actually, that brings me. So I had brought up that you missed my clip because I've been saying I wanted to get Greg, but you're also a person I wanted to pin down for this one for a while, and that's K-pop Demon Hunters. It won the Grammy. I don't know if you saw that, and how big? So it's huge over here, obviously in the United States. It's like kind of almost like dethroned Japanese like love at this point for Korean love. It's really weird.
At one point, it was the #1 and #3 movie on Netflix because the sing-along was also #3 and the movie itself was #1. Like, it was fucking
That's crazy. How big is it over there in actual Korea proper?
Yeah, it's big. I think it did very well on Netflix. You know, it did well on the charts, and it hung into the charts for a long time because every time I went to Netflix for months, I would see, K-pop Demon Hunters. It's called K-Daehon. So K-pop Demon Hunters is the Konglish, and then with Konglish you usually do a contraction, so it becomes K-Daehon, and that was in the top 10 for months. So it did really well, and of course Koreans were fascinated by how it used Korean folklore, the little tiger demon, like that was nice, and then lots of other stuff as well. Like a lot of it's very clever. Like, do you know the Saja boys?
Yeah, well, I know of them. I have a shirt that I wore last week or 2 weeks ago.
The name, they use like Korean language for the naming of the Saja boys. So Saja means demon,
like lion, right?
Or Saja boys.
It's like it means it's
in
like
Korea,
herald or something.
Lion.
Lion herald.
And then Kwima. I actually even knew this when I watched the movie. Kwi means the word itself doesn't literally mean monster, but the Chinese character means monster. Monster is Kwimul, but Kwima is like monster, and then Ma means magic. Like Mabop is magic, so Kwima together would mean something like magic monster. But I think it also Ma Kwi means like magical demon, and then they just reversed it. So there's lots of little things like that.
There's Koreans so much little stuff in there,
and that's just the stuff that I noticed from being a learner of Korean, like someone who doesn't speak the language particularly well. But for a native speaker, they'd notice all these little things that they've done. It's very, very clever. It's very detailed. There's so many little things. If you want to check out a great video which explains a lot of it, there's a YouTube channel called Talk to Me in Korean, which is a Korean learning channel. I've watched some of their videos. They were really good, actually. About a decade ago when I started learning Korean. More than that, I used a lot of Talk to Me in Korean. And they did some excellent videos breaking down Greg, you might like that, actually, Talk to Me in Korean.
Yeah.
That video that breaks down K-pop Demon Hunters, because it goes through the folk myths and how they use Korean language and integrate it into the names and things. Really, really clever.
I love a good pun, so I'm down.
I just want to point out that Rebel Rose, the actual soda pop dance is great for washing your dishes. So the motion is, so let's say you have a plate in your hand, you pick it up, you bring it over, you bring it down, you shake your shoulders, and it's the same motion. It's actually so it's.
I mean, that might have been the best. That might have been the best scene of 2025.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better scene. And it wasn't just the dance choreography and the animation was beautiful, but the way the girls were reacting to it, and you had the old women and everything. Oh man, it was the most beautiful piece of animation of the year. It was hilarious slapstick animation, and just the whole scene. The song's amazing. Oh, just beautiful.
I mean, it's funny. So, like I said, I brought up that it was on the Grammys. I'm surprised. So, Golden ended up winning. I think because technically.
Well, Golden's an absolute banger.
But of the ones that they sing, I actually think that What It Sounds Like is the best Huntrix song, personally. But I think it could kind of, they're all good. But but I was like, when I watched it most recently, I was even thinking about this. I was like, even their weapons actually tell part of the story. You have Mira, who has, her primary weapon is a polearm, and what's her whole thing is she tries to keep people at a distance. Then you have, Rumi, who her weapon for the majority of the movie is a double-edged sword, and then when she figures her shit out, it's a giant single-edged sword.
Well, it's right. I mean, even Greg, you pointed out how she has these scars, and at the end, the scars are healing, representing the fact that she's not over this. Like, healing is a process that takes a long time. It's not something that just goes away.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Soda Pop song is about, like, basically it's a villain reveal because it's about drinking souls. So, all of it. It's the intentionality. There's no accidents. There's not even hardly a frame that goes by that something is happening just for filler, just because. Like, every bit of it is meaningful. I love it.
The only scene, there's only one thing that to this day, after all my watches, I still can't quite figure out, is why Gino saves her that very first time in the bathhouse. Because at that point, he has no investment in her at all. He has, like, the only thing I could possibly come up with is that he's curious as to why she has the markings, but like right then and there, if he just lets it go, he doesn't bother to cover her up, movie's over. He wins. They break up as a group. So that's the only one thing where I watch it and I go, I wish there was one line that explained why he did it. It's up to interpretation, like a lot of the movie is, though. Like, technically,
it's a good question. I think it's part of his psychology, because his psychology is built upon a guilt complex about what happened with his family. And, in case some of the people watching this haven't seen the movie yet, I'll not spoil it, but he has this great shame. He carries this great shame. He has a horrible guilt complex. And it could be that it's instinctive. He just doesn't... He's already on the path to redemption. He just isn't really aware of it yet, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do any damage to the movie. It's just one of those things I've never quite been able to figure out. And if there was just, he's even walking away like almost kind of confused as to why he even did it himself, like, which I guess, in and of itself kind of sums it up. But yeah, I mean, I didn't want to spend too much time on that because I've been wanting to talk to you two specifically about it for a while though. But I did actually clip. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's just go ahead.
I was going to say, I actually did clip, and hopefully this doesn't rip us down, but I clipped some of the stuff from the acceptance speech and and them talking to the Huntrix singers about winning the Grammy. I don't have to play the whole thing. I'll just play but it's about a minute long. But I want to contrast it to to many of the other award speeches that we see nowadays. So, but here we go.
Okay. So nervous. First of all, I want to thank filmmakers Maggie Gang, Chris Abraham, and Michelle Wong. Our executive music producer, Ian Spring Express, and her team from Sony Pictures.
Everyone looked so amazing. Of course, this is a very special night. Already winners tonight. Oh my goodness. When you heard your name being called, what was the first reaction?
That was my reaction. I was like, what? Yeah, just, wow, it's just crazy because it's like a historical moment for, as being a Korean. It's a song that represents also Korea, has Korean words in it, but in a movie, shout out to Maggie and Chris. But yeah, it's just, we feel so grateful and honored.
I wanted to compare that to maybe some people have seen this one, and it's just basically I'll just let the clip do the talking.
No one is illegal on stolen land. Yeah. No one is illegal on stolen land.
So I just find the humility of the Korean people in that one to be so much better than what a lot of other people do in these situations.
I thought you were going to play Wanda Sykes. I was waiting for that one.
No. I also I said that there's something that's a little political. I did find it funny. I have it somewhere up here, but the Native American tribe that used to own the land, that used to be on the land that her house is on, has told her that she should give up her house after hearing that. Yeah. But I just really wanted to have fun with that clip, to be honest with you. But yeah, I find it great, like funny to watch that even the actresses are almost, and I guess those are the singers. They're technically not they're not the voice actors. So the voice actors for the characters and the singers there was two for each. But they even kind of act like the band does for in the show, in the movie. So, what else did we have? Oh, Despot. I'm gonna give you a couple minutes. Convince me why Game of Thrones, like the Game of Thrones universe, is back after watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and it cannot include giant dong. That's the one thing you cannot use. It has been overplayed. So, hold on, Despot. For some reason you are muted. I don't know how that happened.
All right, so the Game of Thrones universe is not back. Okay. Oh, I was muted. That's a shame. I was gonna say after Billie Eilish, I was delighted she said that because it means that I can just crash at Greg's place now, put my feet up on his table, sit on his sofa, and say, right, you can't do anything, Greg. This is stolen land. That means my presence here is not illegal, so this is my house now.
Nope, it's legal. And
okay, what I'll do is when I'll go in and I'll just remove a section, and it'll just be right there. Don't worry. I'm a master of that. The amount of times I've had to remove some dumb shit I left in a video and no one even knows that it happened.
You gotta leave it in. It's authentic.
But, no, sometimes it's like it breaks the video. I don't mean like it's a thing that I got wrong. Like it's like a sound that like it would just it spikes and would blow someone's eardrums out, but somehow it got through.
That was a great comparison that you made there. And apart from anything else, the Huntrix girls are fucking brilliant singers. Mm-hmm. Like technically, they are excellent singers. Billie Eilish is mediocre as a singer. Like I admit that she's not bad and some of her music's decent, but she's not an especially good singer, and those girls are far more talented. Anyway, moving on.
It's fine. What I could just do is, if you want, I could replay all the clips. You could say all that stuff, and then we'll just trim it down. That's what we'll do. We'll trim it
down. So now the Seven Kingdoms. I don't think the Game of Thrones franchise is back by any means, because it's just a good show, really good actually. But I don't think it's enough to sort of revive the franchise after the disasters of Game of Thrones Season 8. And then even House of Dragon Season 2, which I think in retrospect was a bit of a disaster. But it's really good. It's a fantastic show. It's got an excellent lead character who is on... He's trying to become... He is technically a knight. He's a hedge knight, meaning that he has to sleep in a hedge because he's too poor to go to sleep anywhere else. So they call him a hedge knight. And he's trying to move up in the world by winning a tournament. And I've only seen the first 2 episodes, so the tournament hasn't even happened yet. But the build-up to it is excellent. A lot of the characters are likable. There was this amazing moment because Game of Thrones became so fucking cynical. It wasn't just that the guys at the top were terrible and that everyone was evil, and that if you said, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't be so evil, a minute later you would be decapitated for suggesting that. It's not just that.
You're so right about that. How dare you assume that we're not evil?
It got to a point where Game of Thrones universe was kind of like a representation of hell. Like, we have this image in our head of, well, what is hell like? It's this place of fire and brimstone. But maybe not. Maybe it's more like a place where everyone is just horrible to each other, if you know what I mean.
LA.
It's really interesting when you read like people who have had near-death experiences. Some of them claim to have gone to hell, and their experiences were things like, I saw my friends there from the finance world, and they gathered around me, and then they started tearing at me and tearing my skin, things like that. So it's just this place where everyone's horrible to each other, and that's kind of like what Game of Thrones became. Everyone is horrible to everyone, and everyone's just evil. And there's a part in Night of the Seven Kingdoms where Sir Duncan the Tall, the main character, he goes to these 3 guards, and he says, I would like to speak to the master of the games. And I was expecting the guards to turn around and say, and I'd like to fuck the queen, but that's not going to happen, is it? Like, that's what I was expecting, that they would mock him and go around and tell nasty jokes. But instead, no, they just took him to the master of the games. And you'll know exactly why that was so shocking when you see the scene. It's a little thing, but it spoke so much about how... he might be right, hell. Although I lived in France for a year, I thought it was great. Although that was...
Tar lives in France now. And by the way, he did send me this. Hello there.
Yeah, that was over a decade ago. But, yeah, that's good. It has real stakes because the guy needs to win this tournament or he's going to be completely impoverished. I'll not get into too much of the plot because I don't want to spoil anything, because I really recommend it. Like we were talking about Wonder Man earlier. It's fine. If you say the show is good, okay, I'm not really going to argue with you too much. But, the parts of it are good. but I would not recommend it. But I would absolutely recommend Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm actually looking forward to watching the third episode. Right, so I definitely strongly recommend it. As I say, I don't want to get too much into the plot, but even the action, it has one action set piece in the second episode, and it looks so good. It's a fantastic looking scene, and it's a night scene, and night scenes look notoriously shit now because they all just look pitch black, but it's actually really nicely lit with fire. Obviously, they use artificial lighting as well, but they light it in a way to make it look like it's lit with torches and things, and it's beautiful. It's not, this is not the second Battle of Winterfell. What was that battle called? The Battle of Winterfell you couldn't see. The Battle of the Long Night, was that it?
Yeah, the Long Night. Yeah, that was it.
That was probably
that was
the
shitty.
worst example ever of night cinematography.
I still have no idea what the hell happened, and I cranked my brightness up as high as it could go. I was like, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
If you watch that, I'm not exaggerating. If you tried to watch that scene during the day with a bit of sun coming through the window, your skin is just black.
Yeah.
I was convinced that what's her face, the tall female knight. I can't remember her name all of a sudden. Brienne of Tarth. I was pretty certain I saw her die, and then she's in the next scene. I'm like, they really fucked up everything here. I don't know, but yeah, I mean,
imagine you were a production designer, like you'd worked your ass off to build that set, and then you saw that. You'd be understandably furious.
I don't here. Hold on. I'm not sure that AVP2 is actually worse because there's at least some scenes you could see in AVP2.
I think that's more of a framing and lens choice issue with AVP2 than the actual cinematography.
And the lighting.
No. it's
No, there was some lighting issues with that.
It is a combo. It is a combo, but
it's
the lighting
not solely
is still
on the lighting. Okay.
Yeah, I'll not say too much about Night of the Seven Kingdoms because I don't want to spoil it, but I strongly recommend you watch it if you like fantasy, And the other thing is it doesn't make the same mistakes that so many of those modern fantasy shows have made, where every single group of people look like a Harvard brochure, except the group of 11 rapists in The Witcher. Every single one of them is a white man. But other than that, everyone is diverse all the time, everywhere. So there's none of that. And it actually looks like a region of somewhere. So, yeah, strongly recommend.
Is it a prequel?
It is set about 100, I think it's set either 100 years or 50 years before the fall of the Targaryen dynasty.
Oh, okay. So predates
predates Game of Thrones.
Okay. And then what about the other show?
I think it's after House of Dragon.
Okay.
In the timeline.
Let's see, do I have any... No, I don't think I did. No. Okay. Never mind. I was looking to see if I had any of my retarded comments, but I... Oh, no, yes, I do. Hold on. Let me see if I can... Oh, fuck. So we do this thing here where... this one is long as shit, though. I'm not sure... we'll do it. That's too much for not having a full segment. But I did promise you guys something, so I think it's time that we do this. So anybody who used to watch the Echo Chamber, there was this game that I loved. It was I remember the first time I was on it, and I froze up, and I screwed up, and I was like, they're never gonna let that shit happen again. And no, it's not time for clit today. Today it is not time for the clit, which is for my guess that's comments lacking in intelligence or thought. It was the elevator pitch game, and that was you would get a prompt basically, and you would have to win the judge. Oh, did Greg just put on his sweatshirt?
It's cold in here.
I thought you were doing like a getting in the. I was expecting you to throw on your hood like Eminem or
just
something.
Cold, okay.
I'm gonna get my bandana on here. Greg's gonna put on his boxing shit. Yeah.
So hold on, let me set this up here. I am big now. Okay. So you have 30 seconds to tell me, and the first one today is I think we decided we were going to go with the Star Trek one. I want and it's going to be Bobby, Greg, and Despot, and it's going to be me and Matt are going to be the judges for the first one. Whoever loses the first round becomes a judge for the second round. So the first prompt is give me a worse concept for a Star Trek show than Starfleet Academy. Does anyone want to volunteer to go first?
I'm ready. I'm ready, baby.
Okay, so we'll go with Greg first. So I'm on the when I say go, you're good to go. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Star Trek, Prime Directive of the Heart. In a faraway galaxy, humanity has overcome their problematic nature and vowed to show the universe emotionally authentic human experiences. Commander Kat Phrygian has been promoted based on her excellent emotional vulnerability metrics and is carrying out the Federation's new mission to enact cultural emotional exchange with non-humanoid expressing life beings. Her first contact is in the Tentacular Nebula, where she meets a diplomat, Xylap Hone. Oh, I gotta read the rest of it, though. It turns into a...
Go ahead.
She can't keep her eyes off him. His numerous tentacles keep her awake at night as she struggles to complete her human apology mission. She has to fight her feelings. Interspecies romance is a capital cancelable offense because it implies that other species might need humanity, which is simply not true. The diplomat, who has a thick beard made of dexterous cilia, is 8 feet tall and is sometimes difficult to communicate with because he harbors a dark past that he must brood over daily. But he sees something in Kat. When she cannot contain her feelings anymore, she confesses the unworthiness of humanity, seeking to fulfill the humiliation ritual directive. But in a fateful twist, Xylap comes up with a solution and tells her, "I'll humiliate you. Get on your knees for daddy."
All right. So here's you are clearly out of practice because that was like 2.5 minutes.
30 seconds. I thought it was just a pitch.
No, okay, it's fine. So what I'll do is
go the desperate route. I had character names and everything.
No. So the way I look at it is, if you're outside of the 30-second pitch, it's just the tiebreaker goes to that's your losing tiebreaker. I like that though. That was pretty good. I mean, I could extend it to 2 minutes if you guys would prefer that. Would you prefer a 2-minute pitch?
I might need 60 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 30-second aim is fine. If they go over, whatever, you know. Okay.
Yeah, fuck it.
We'll see. If we all go over, it's fine. You put a lot of thought into that now.
Yeah, it was almost too competent.
I knew Despot was coming, and he always beat me on these. I got to come up with something.
All right, so what I'll do is I will ignore the going out of 30 seconds. I will make it a 2-minute timer going forward. Okay, let's get this one. Okay, so I guess we'll go with Despot next. I did like that one, though.
All right.
So go ahead. Go.
Okay, an evil Klingon warlord named Zonald Zegan has flooded Earth with a drug called Sleepo. People of Earth are becoming addicted to this drug. It makes them drowsy and degenerate, and they don't want to do any work. And as a result, it particularly affects people of color. And as a result, the Starfleet and their staff must do everything they can to convince, without war, through diplomacy, Zonald Zegan to stop his evil ways. There you go. There's my pitch.
Okay, got it in the 30 seconds. I those are both pretty good.
Those are
leaning despot right now, but let's see what Bobby has come up with. Okay, you ready? This is your first time doing this.
This is my first time. All right, let's do it.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so mine is a post Starfleet Academy show with Captain Ake as the main character. It's called Star Trek No Man's Land. And in a similar event to The Burn, another crazy event happens called The Vanishing, where all the men in the galaxy suddenly disappear. And then in the wake of The Vanishing, many believed the galaxy would lose its balance. But the old balance was just an illusion. There was never a chance for balance until now. And the mission of the Starship Athena is to seek connections with women across the galaxy and to listen to them and learn from them and weave a new equilibrium from shared wisdom, hope, and of course, empathy. And empathy is how women have survived in a patriarchy, and it's how they will build a new future. Empathy is now the voice of the galaxy. And there's no effort in place to figure out what happened to all of the men. They're just okay with it.
Okay, so let's see. You said empathy like how many times? I created a drinking game in my last video.
That was it.
That should be the show title, Star Trek Empathy.
Star Trek Empathy.
to boldly support one another.
Okay, so since I don't technically know how long Greg went, we'll say he was within the 2-minute marker. But
this is tough. This is tough.
Well, I do think, unfortunately, Greg, I think yours was just there was.
You don't want giant magical
too well thought out.
Come on.
I love all three of these.
Did I mentioned he has like an 8-pack. He's super jacked.
I mean, my only critique of Greg's really is that, like, if you were to do it, it would just come across too polished and too competent, you know?
Yeah. So I think Bobby gets a point specifically because he's not only making it worse after Starfleet Academy, he's immediately continuing off of Starfleet Academy. So it's like he's not even like separating it. Plus, I really do love the concept of, you know, the Athena going around trying to find the empathy of the galaxy through women connecting. I think so. Bobby moves on. So it comes down to Despot and Greg here, and this one's tough.
I thought Bobby's was going in a dirty direction. I liked it.
No, honestly, you know, and quite frankly, he did so much better on his first go than I did. I remember the first. I was just like, something.
Well, I hope that I was reading what I wrote.
I was reading it too, but I was trying to read it so fast that I skipped lines and shit. It was horrible.
I don't think I could have crammed that into 30 seconds. I think a minute.
Yeah, maybe we'll turn it into 60 seconds going forward. Maybe 2 minutes might be too much. 30 seconds might not be enough. But this is also the first time we haven't done this in a while. I think I got to go with Despot only because there was something about that whole what did you call it? What was the gas called or whatever? The
Sleepo?
The what?
Sleepo,
yeah, that was it. It was just making everybody drowsy. It was there was a lot of cohesion with the way he went from thing to thing. So unfortunately, Greg, it was a very valiant effort. See you later. So he will be removed from not only the game but the entire stream. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna move him to the back. And that will. So now the second pitch.
The robe makes it better. Like, that just sells it.
It's all good.
Now the robe's coming off. Oh no, ladies, go away.
It's fine.
I always love because like Greg sometimes will just be eating a steak mid-stream. He'll just be like, "Fuck it, I don't care."
I'm living my life, goddammit.
He's like, "I just got out of work." But okay, so the next pitch is an obscure MCU character concept. So it can be it could either be someone who was already in the MCU but hasn't had their own show, kind of thing, minor character, or you could pick somebody else from Marvel and make it up like based on that. So I'll let Bobby go first on this one because you went last on the last one. So
yeah. Okay. All right, this is going to be very short because I didn't think I was going to make it past the first round. So
okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so this show follows the character of Mr. Sensitive, and I don't know if you guys know who Mr. Sensitive is. He's from Ecstatic, formerly X-Force, and he is so sensitive, his skin, Professor X had to make a special suit for him, like he has to take showers in mist, so he's a sensitive guy. So he decides to start sensitivity training for other superheroes. It's very progressive. And when villains start visiting him, he has to decide whether or not to affirm their choices or to turn them in. That's as far as I got.
You clearly did not think you were making it.
No, I didn't. I started it, and I was like, I'm not going to make the second round.
Honestly, that's actually the one of the primary issues that I used to have is my first pitch was always like a lot better than my second one.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm also going to let Greg at the end. I'll let you pitch your last one. Don't worry. You just don't win the game. But your consolation prize is that you still get to pitch for us.
It's all good. I'm halftime show.
I mean, you want to do it right now? Okay, Despot, are you ready for your second pitch?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so we start with Ant-Man's daughter coming out of a cell, just like her introduction in her movie. But this time, she's not the sort of cocky anti-police activist. She's older, and her bad life decisions have caught up with her. She's in jail because she was caught robbing a store because she wanted drug money. She's turned into a junkie, and Ant-Man has to come and rescue her. And he decides that he needs to put her on the road to recovery, so he takes her into superhero training, and she's doing okay, you know, she's doing all right. But then a horrible affliction starts to affect the community from an evil villain called Professor H. And Ant-Man and his daughter have to go and face Professor H, and this will be a metaphor for her overcoming her drug problems and getting clean, you know, trying to defeat Professor H. And yes, it is shameless anti-drug propaganda, but hey, if you're going to have propaganda, at least make it propaganda in support of a good cause. So that's basically it. I'm going to take an old character who was absolutely terrible and try to redeem her with a nice arc that is actually aiming at something positive.
I did not know what sound that one was going to make. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so now we'll move people around. We'll do this thing here. Everybody's out of place. Okay, those were two very similar pitches.
Move people. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you can move people around over here. Oh wow, I'm very.
His was thought out, and mine was.
I don't think StreamYard gives us that.
Slapped together.
No, you can move people around StreamYard as well. Honestly, EVMux is the only thing I have a problem with EVMux is you can't see the comments before your stream starts. You have to actually go to your actual chat. I don't know why they have it set up that way. But Matt, what are your thoughts? Who do you think won that one? Very similar pitches. I do think it might come down to just the fact that Despot is a little bit more polished at this. It may just come down to that.
Yeah, I mean, and look, I know I'm biased, you know, because Bobby's my other half, but I do like the concept though of what he came up with, and I think you could do a lot of that. It's like a Marvel HR character, you know, like you could just make that really shitty if you wanted to. So
yeah, I do think that I agree. I think that is a great concept. It's definitely you could see that being some sort of like web series that they put stuff out after every movie, and it's like a character kind of, you know, undoing almost like that scene from the end of Iron Man 3, your favorite movie, where
so good.
You know, that great scene that everybody sat in the theater to watch. It could be like that, but funny and have a point, or maybe not a point, but at least be funny. Greg, what do you think? Who won this round? Now he's equally as biased towards Despot.
I have a similar bias. I got to sleep with Despot on Sunday, so I got to keep him happy. And he's fixing Ant-Man's shitty daughter, so that makes me happy right there. Like we got a double plus. So also, I'm just gonna make you decide because it's your show. So
doing me dirty. Technically, these are my co-hosts. I slightly like Bobby's concept better, but the delivery is just always on point with Despot, and it's like that's a major part of an elevator pitch is getting your information out effectively and quick.
Throw it to chat.
Yeah, I guess chat. What do you think? Was it superhero HR sensitivity training or
anti-drug propaganda?
Yeah, I was gonna say like just say no, dare program for Ant-Man's daughter. You know, we'll give them a couple minutes while they vote. While they tell me, how about Greg? Why don't you give us your pitch just for the hell of it? You have yours ready. You don't no time limit. You can just do it as.
I was. Well, I didn't know it was MCU. I was gonna go DC. I was gonna go with.
That's fine. You can do DC as well. That's fine.
I was gonna go with Crazy Quilt because I've always thought that's the goofiest fucking Batman villain on the planet. But it was gonna be kind of a half comedy villain origin story because basically he was gonna run a craft store, but it was like a high end craft store, and it was gonna be called Knitters with Molitude, and he was like super gatekeepy and refused to be called a hobbyist, and basically he thought he was doing like terrorist acts by setting off paint bombs and putting quilts on statues and shit, and the police and Batman basically make some cameos, but they're just like, we don't even know if a crime has actually been committed, so we're not really sure who's behind this shit, but okay, it's petty vandalism, I guess. But he thinks he's fighting Big Beige to keep Gotham from being boring, and he gets a sidekick named Chachki, who I think is going to be from Minnesota, but will have a really bad Russian accent, and they think they're committing crimes, and they're just not that bad. That was my idea.
Man, I wish you were in the last round. That was pretty good. Oh well, we have one vote for Bobby.
All right, Bobby wins it then.
Well, no, one vote for you. I think I think Despot wins only on the fact that he didn't really fumble. That's the only thing. I think it really comes down to he just had a little bit more polish on this. So I'm going to have to give it to Despot. Sorry, Bobby, but you
listen,
next
my first
time.
one.
I know it's honestly this game is fun, and I want to try and bring these two back as often as I can for just that segment, even if they only show up for the end of the show, just to do that segment. Oh man, anyone else have anything else that we haven't talked about?
Oh, you know that Bob Iger's out at Disney?
Oh yeah, I read that earlier today. That who was
really?
It? Yeah, it was like it only happened a few hours ago.
Actually, I don't feel sorry for the guy or anything, but I do kind of. There's definitely some empathy there because he said apparently it was the stress, and he's in his early 70s, I think. And he said that his contract was originally supposed to run out at the end of 2026, but he's leaving early because he can't stand the stress of the job, which is understandable given that Disney is. It's more misses than hits. They did have Zootopia 2, big hit, massive hit. Then they had Lilo and Stitch live action Abomination, which made over $1 billion. So they had their successes, but they also had a string of bombs. And their bombs were really damaging. So Snow White destroyed their live action brand, like their live action remake brand. And actually, the head of that studio, the head of their live action remake studio, that guy was fired, or girl, or whoever the fuck it was. So that person's out. And also Marvel. I think the brand damage to Marvel in particular would have put a lot of pressure on them because Marvel was their strongest IP, and last year just fucking trashed that brand. And I think they're really worried about Doomsday. And the rumor is that if Doomsday does badly, Kevin Feige's out. So basically, and of course, Kathleen Kennedy is gone.
Yep.
And it does look like Disney are certainly at least trying to clean house. I mean, I know it's absurd to think that Disney might be able to turn the ship around after they've hit the iceberg, but that seems to be what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Iceberg right behind us.
The trouble is that they need like a decade to rebuild at this point. I mean, they, like you said, they've done so much damage that what their biggest threat is their incoming cultural irrelevancy. And they'll still be somewhat relevant, but just compared to the size that they need it to be, the size of that company and the amount of revenue that they need, they're going to be irrelevant. It'll be flop after flop. Like people always point out, like, oh, their movies make so much money. Like, yeah, but in comparison to how much they spend and how much they need, they're not anywhere near what they need. Like this new Pixar movie. You guys seen the preview for Hoppers that's coming up in the spring or summer or something? It's the next Pixar movie.
Never even heard of it.
Looks dreadful. It's got that, you know, that Grubhub animation, the Cali art style, Bean Mouth.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
It's that.
The preview makes it look like a, you know, environmentalism good, human bad type story. But even if it doesn't end up doing that, which it looks like it will, it just looks boring. It just looks very like, I watched it on stream and I just thought, I'm not going to go to the theater for that. The guy just, nothing about that says grab your kids, pay money, go to the theater. Everything about that preview says, yeah, I might stream it. And that's still a maybe. So it's nothing that they have is exciting. The Mandalorian movie is going to, again, it's going to bomb by Disney like the standards that they need to revive their brand and actually make money and justify their $4 billion purchase of Star Wars. The Mandalorian movie is not going to do it. It just won't. Star Wars is they've tarnished that brand so badly that nobody's going to show up.
Well, yeah, it's funny because, you know, I'm always of the belief that no brand is technically dead. It's always just on life support, but it's been on life support for quite a while. And it would require something. So no matter what, even the greatest movie coming out, it could be, even if, like, let's for the sake of argument, just say like Mandalorian and Grogu is fucking fantastic and it does everything everybody wants. It has it checks every box. It's still not gonna make the money that it needs to.
No,
because a lot of times you end up having to take a loss with something good for the next thing to be a success. Maybe not like a massive loss, but you're not going to get generally. Think about how many great movies did not get the money that they should have, and that's because it didn't. The reason why the MCU and Star Wars and all these things, they were hype trains. They were coasting on, standing on the shoulders of titans, and they didn't need to work hard. And unfortunately, it's event that you can only ride that for so long. And I mean, I don't have any hope for Mando and Grogu. I don't think that that's going to be good. I think that what's his face, Pedro Pascal has slowly but surely become he's gone from people were sick of seeing him to now he may actually be active box office poison in the very near future. Maybe not on the level of what's her face? Rachel Zegler. Yeah, maybe not on that level, but I have a feeling that that's coming real sooner rather than later with him.
Yeah.
And
well, I also wonder, it's the same Disney Plus problem. I mean, The Mandalorian is 100% a Disney Plus property. Nobody who doesn't have a subscription has ever seen it. They've just seen clips of the little green monster, and people say, "Oh, Mandalorian's cool" and all that. But so, what's this movie? If you've seen the show, the movie is going to have to explain stuff that you already know. And if you've never seen the show, the movie is going to have to explain a bunch of stuff to get you to care. And that's assuming you even go to the theater. I wonder what that movie is going to be about,
Yeah, the thing is, Grogu, in a movie, you obviously need your lead, and then you need a couple of characters for him to bounce off, especially with the helmet. The helmet is a big problem because it's very hard to emotionally invest in the character because there's no face there.
Yeah.
And Grogu's not going to do it because Grogu doesn't even talk. He's just a baby Yoda. So who are you going to bring in to be the character that he's going to talk to, and he's going to be the sidekick and the second lead? And yeah, there's a lot of problems there. In fact, although don't make any bear in mind, the Mandalorian brand is dead. It was actually the first thing me and Greg talked about. I think on our first stream we were talking about Mando season 3, and I actually asked Greg to watch it, and he watched all of it, and he described it as torture by boredom. And Disney lost 97% of their audience over the course of that season, Mando season 3, infamously. It was that bad, and they deserved to lose that audience, and that pretty much killed the brand. So this is a movie that is coming out based on a TV show that is already thoroughly dead and in the ground. It's everything you could possibly want for a box office bomb. It's just it has nothing going for it. No hype, dead IP. The last thing from this franchise was utter fucking trash. It has the stink of Kathleen Kennedy on it. It has nothing going for it and everything going against it.
I'm actually, when it comes to Lucasfilm or Lucas whatever, because it's really not even film anymore, it's mostly television, but the Star Wars brand, I'm actually curious to see, because it's probably been a while, this whole time, this last year or so, it's probably been in the works. I can't look at it and say that Kathleen Kennedy just one day woke up and was like, "Hey, I'm done." I don't think that that's how anything like that could possibly happen. So I've been saying this. I have a feeling that I was about to say Dave Filoni has been kind of in charge a little longer than people are letting off. He's been pulling more strings as time has gone along. And this with Ahsoka season 2, I think is going to really be the litmus test for the direction that everything's going to go. I have a feeling that almost all of his creative is going to be in there. And I don't nothing's going to have been vetted. He's like the be all end all, the last person to make the decisions. So, and that's his baby. That's his character. So I have a feeling that we'll be able to see whether or not they can even attempt to course correct at all. I don't think they can, but because I don't like to say with absolutes. I don't like to be like, there's absolutely zero chance that they could course correct, but I will know very, very shortly if they what direction they're going to be going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that this was like a one day. I personally think that she had this idea in the back of her brain that Mandalorian Grogu was going to do pretty good, and then she was going to go out on a high note. And then over the last month or two, whatever internal polling or whatever data she has access to, or just, I don't know, something finally convinced her, like, you know what, that's not going to happen. And then it's going to look like he's running away with her tail between her legs. So she decided to go out in January and make it look like it was her own decision.
Yeah, it could be early test screens as well from like rough cuts of the movie. And they do those, like they will have test screens without music. And they'll even have test screenings with like little blank cards that says CGI scene. And then the audience will watch that and they'll give their opinion. And it could be that the early test screens for Mando and Grogu were so bad that Kathleen Kennedy decided to get the fuck out of there before the shit hits the fan.
I mean, it's not like she could really save her reputation, but then again, at this point, her and Kevin Feige and pretty much everybody involved with these dying properties, you know, these on their deathbed properties, as people keep saying, they have an ego about them, and they don't see the it is all negative. But there's no way that there was no amount of leaving at a certain time that was going to save her reputation. So. I don't know. That's all. I was surprised to see, like, because that only popped up like a couple hours ago on my phone. I didn't even add it to the topics because I didn't even get a chance to look at it about Iger being out. But yeah, I mean, it's probably just it does seem like it's just a domino effect, and it seems like the first one was Kathleen Kennedy. So, anybody else got anything else before I play the plug your shit? Yeah, everyone loves to plug your shit. Okay, so I'll just play it. It is time to plug your shit. Tell us where you've been, where you're going, what diseases you picked up along the way, and what we can watch from you next. I think we'll start with Despot.
I have the Worst of Woke Awards out at the minute, which is my award show, which is voted on by all my subscribers. So it's not just my opinions. It's it's the People's Choice Awards of garbage shit. So yeah, check that out if you haven't. And me and Greg are going to be doing an Oscars stream on Sunday or something. So we're going to be talking about the just all the Oscar nominees. So looking forward to that.
So basically, every art house project that most people didn't watch.
Man, some of like I did watch one of the movies, which was every year they have to have a European movie in there to prove how sophisticated they are. And the one this year was bad. Ugh. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, definitely check. I remember the Woke Awards from last year were fucking hilarious. So I'm looking forward to watching that one. Greg, besides doing your stream this Sunday, that was, I mean, you could say it again, but what do you got coming out?
I can't wait to hear what you think about Begonia. No, you should watch Worst of Woke because it's a really good one. There's, you know what? I actually wrote down some lines from that one because Despot comes up with some fucking bangers. At one point, he describes something being used less than Anne Frank's drum kit, and I just a phenomenal line. I mean, like it just caught me off guard.
The best part about that is it gives you this visual that you never thought you'd have of just this dusty drum set in the corner of an Amsterdam fucking attic. Like...
He also described the Smurfs movie as making you want to call the Pirate Bay to demand a refund. And I'm not done with it yet, so there's gonna be more. But tomorrow I think I gotta go get a thumbnail together, but tomorrow I got my my own yearly recap of the dumb shit that I said in the prior year. So my L's recap is gonna be tomorrow, so we can laugh at me, and then we'll laugh at the Oscars and their stupid choices on Sunday. So come hang out with us.
I'll be in the chat. Sunday is what time on Sunday? Because it is the Super Bowl, and I don't plan on watching that. So
oh shit, that's right.
Despot just realized he was like,
Why are you thinking of rescheduling, Greg? Because you don't want to compete with the Super Bowl?
No, it's not even
honestly,
that.
Honestly, if there's a year you could compete with the Super Bowl, it's probably this one. I don't think anybody's excited for this one.
I think we're gonna get invited somewhere, and my wife's gonna be like, "Don't do a stream. We got to go someplace." And like,
Oh yeah, we can do a stream if you want. Oh, do you know what? Though we're going on vacation to Guam, next week. So
now you guys get to see. Everyone's getting to see the insides of planning a stream. It sucks.
We could do your Saturday, my Friday, or your Friday, my Thursday, possibly.
Yeah, let me take a look at it. I'll send you a message.
All right, great.
Bobby and Matt, which one of you wants to go about what your upcoming project is? Neither of you. Good. Perfect.
I went last time, so I thought Bobby was going to do it, but I can do it.
Oh, I can go.
All right,
if you want.
Go for
Who
it.
gets the
Well, we're still continuing our Alien franchise reviews. So we got AVP2 up next.
Speaking of AVP2.
Speaking of AVP2. And
very dark.
We are going to jump on this bandwagon of Star Trek Academy just because we thought it was going to be a flash in the pan with the premiere and everyone was going to kind of move on, but it's got some legs. And
it's definitely slowing down. I will tell you this: it's slowing down.
Yeah.
But I still think you guys. I think you owe it. The reason why I did a video, not being a person who likes Star Trek particularly, but I felt I owed it to people that subscribe to me that do love Star Trek. So that's kind of why.
That's kind of how I feel too. And I am a big Trek fan, so I think that'll help with how we're going to approach it. So
I come at it from like a normie.
That's how I did. I was just like, this doesn't make. Some people called me out in the comments like, hey, you don't watch a lot. I was like, yes, that was one of the first things I said in the video.
Yeah. So we'll dive into that pretty soon, and then hopefully get back to our regularly weekly new
Alien movie.
Well, but just seeing what's new in theaters.
After that, what you should do, you should start doing the Alien games. After that, just stick with
actually, Isolation. We got a few people telling us we should do review Isolation.
Yeah, I've got some ideas about that too, but
yeah.
Unfortunately, I was going to say you guys should do a playthrough, but like Isolation player games doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that might be difficult, but we'll discuss. We'll see what's possible.
As for me, I'm going to be doing a second video of Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, I like that. I was originally going to do 4 episodes, but probably 3 because I do have a trip coming up. And it just happens to land in a weird spot. So I'll probably do the next 3 episodes. I'm trying to come up with some other. I want to start doing good stuff again, and I'm just trying to figure out a way to like transition my style into that. It's very hard to transition a style of an angry Jersey guy into being like, this is fucking good, like I guess. But I've been bopping around a couple ideas, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that, and you never know where I'll pop up. I always seem to pop up on random streams all the time, and you'll rejoin us here in 2 weeks for our next recap of whatever we watched of Starfleet Academy. It will still be a topic at that point. Hopefully something else happens, so we don't have to talk about just that. But anybody have anything else they want to plug before we call it a day? Nope. Okay, good. Okay. Well, that just leaves me to thank my co-hosts, Bobby and Matt, Hard and Cut, Despot of Antrim, and Greg Owen, the 2/3 of the echo chamber. My audience, especially those who sent super chat. That's a hard one to fucking say. Holy shit. Sent super chats. Okay, let's try that again. To pause. Wait a minute. Well, those who sent super chats, and catch you all later. Tits out.